Okay, we're live. Let's see if anyone's here. No one yet. No one's here yet, but we're gonna wait. We're gonna wait patiently before we. I don't know why I'm saying we. I'm gonna wait and see if. Oh, there's one. Do you guys know how I can find out who's actually here? Because I don't know until people talk. I just know that there's 3 right now. I just know that there's 3 people. Let's wait for a few more. I see 4. Hey everybody, welcome to the kitchen. 5 people. Let me see. I'm gonna see who's here. Who's there? Hi, Sonoma Natural. that who are you wasn't addressed to you. It was more, just for people to say hi. Before we start, let's get a few more. Before we start, let's get a few more. We've got 6. I feel like I'm in a hiding mode today. I'm half here. I'm off to the side. But I have topics. But I have no idea who's here. Participants. Well, it still doesn't say. I'm going to wait before we go into the topics. Hi, Diane. Before we jump into the topics, I'm going to wait a little more. But I do want to, hi Sonoma Natural. You know, it's a little early because it's not Hanukkah yet. I have to look at my calendar exactly. It's going to be late. It's later December, later this month. But I just, I took it out of the cupboard. So while we're waiting for a few more people, I want to talk a little bit about, just a little. See, I actually am prepared today. A little bit about Jupiter and Capricorn. We did a live stream the other day, which was like a happy birthday. It was a welcome. It was a welcome Jupiter and Capricorn live stream. And today I have a couple more thoughts. But I still want to wait because people are being very quiet. I don't know who they are. Usually folks chime in right away. We've got 7. Let's wait till we get to 10. Let's wait till we get to 10, and then we'll start with the topics. The topics. It's strange though. Usually there's more. Although I didn't announce it like always. Hey, Susie. Okay, maybe I will just start. I think y'all are all new names to me. Maybe Diane is a familiar name. Okay. Hi, Noelle. My mod. One of my mods is here. All right, so there's a couple things that I want to say about Jupiter and Capricorn. Jupiter just went into Capricorn Monday. And what I want you to do is think back to 2007, okay? 2007, 2008. It was kind of a long time ago. Hey, Eliza. Hi, Lynn. So we're talking a little bit about Jupiter and Capricorn. And I want you to think back to 2007, 2008 in your life. What was going on then? Because that was the last time Jupiter was in Capricorn. And this planet changes signs every year. You know, it lasts about a year. Hey, Melissa. And then it travels, you know, it travels around the wheel. It travels around the zodiac. And Jupiter just went into Capricorn. And the last time was, I mean, really 2008. So who's good at math? How long ago was that? It was over a decade ago, right? It was over a decade ago. And I was a guest on a podcast yesterday, and I was saying how I particularly like tracking Jupiter because Jupiter 11, thank you. Hey, Barbara. Because Jupiter brings us something good. I am a firm believer, even though it's not, oh, last time you moved cities, Barbara, I wonder if it was a fourth house transit for you. I mean, none of these planets, even a good one like Jupiter, is going to bring perfection. But it is going to bring something good, benevolent, some kind of abundance, some kind of luck in the part of your chart where it's moving through. And I find this to be like always true. Like it's literal. It's yes, Jupiter is going to really raise you up somehow. And it may not be, you know, it's not always what you want actually, or meaning it's not necessarily what you saw for yourself, but it will happen and it will be according to where it is in the chart. So Barbara just said that, was it Barbara? That, oh, was the last time she moved, was the last time Jupiter was in Capricorn. So this may have been in her, it may have been in her fourth house. It may even have been in her third or her ninth. Yeah, it's faded. It's absolutely faded. I'm totally in hiding mode today. You know, maybe because I put this up on a thing. Wish Jupiter was that benefic for me, is what Eliza says. Well, you know, it may be, but we don't, you know, unless you track, I mean, and I'm not assuming that you don't track it, but unless you really track these things in a particular way, there could be things that you're missing. But I mean, I do believe that it is something big. Now, of course, other transits always come into play. I mean, I remember actually that time in my life. Okay. So we're thinking about 2008. That's where we're focusing. Yes, it's 2019, but we're thinking about 2008 because that's when Jupiter was in Capricorn before. And you know what? I'll tell you, you know what? Back in 2008, Pluto, hey Rachna, hey V Perez, Pluto back in 2008 or 2007, Pluto was in Sagittarius. And there was a time, and I think it was 2007 or 2006, around then, when Pluto and Jupiter were conjunct, but in Sagittarius. And if that didn't get along nicely with your chart, that could have been a pretty painful time in your life. You know, if Sag didn't get along in your chart back in 2006, 2007, you may have suffered quite a bit because Jupiter and Pluto together, that combination is pretty powerful. And it can be the kind of power that is ruthless, you know, not necessarily healthy or beneficial. For those who just joined, we're talking about 2008 because that's the last time Jupiter was in Capricorn, and I'm still obsessing on this topic. And I wanted everyone to try to think back, like what was going on in your life. It's not, Barbara, maybe someday. Hey, KP65. Barbara, it's not about Jupiter, but maybe someday, maybe someday. Hey, Michael. Happy Thursday. Yes. You know, there's work I'm supposed to be doing, so I'm totally procrastinating with you guys. And if you want to hear what we already covered, you know, there's the playback. But I want folks to really think about, okay, 2008, Okay, Susie. Susie was taking care of mom. Now, I'm not saying that there's going to be a repeat of that. Whatever was going on in 2008, 2019 is not a literal repeat. But there may be themes that do repeat. It's not, Rachna. It's not. But thank you. I love you guys are guessing the oh, thank you, Sonoma Natural. She's bringing up the, yeah, I think there's going to be some financial weirdness for sure. But you know what, you guys, you know what? Think about this, okay? Uranus is also in an earth sign, okay? We've got, I feel like my face just looks like strange today. Thank you, Michael. So Uranus is also in an earth sign. Uranus is in Taurus, okay? Uranus is in Taurus. Jupiter's in Capricorn. Earth signs create, sorry to use the new agey language, okay, but they create a positive vibration. This is a very positive vibration. We're going to have a Jupiter-Uranus trine relatively soon. You know, that's going to be early 2020. So financially, you know, there may be some financial improvements here. And then I started thinking about for who exactly, for who. But bringing it back to the personal, if you have Jupiter and Capricorn in a money house, and you know, it doesn't even matter where that Uranus and Taurus is, but that could be very good for you for money. I mean, Jupiter and Capricorn, without question, does have to do with our money. Without question, has to do with our money. So Jupiter and Capricorn in 2020, I think I kept saying 2019, but in 2020, it's not going to be a repeat. You know, you're not going to go through the same things. Hi, Hilda. But there may be repeating themes. I'll use myself as an example because I know myself and my own experience. Smash the like button. Thank you, Noelle. Even though I'm in hiding today, you should like it anyway. Okay, so my Jupiter's in Sag. Okay, so you had a Jupiter return, Melissa. You know, the last time Jupiter was in Capricorn, my love life, we'll get personal here. Thank you, Michael. We'll get personal here. My love life was pretty interesting, okay? Last time Jupiter was in Capricorn, my love life was a little tumultuous, but it was very exciting. And Jupiter in Capricorn is my 5th house, which on the wheel, that is a love house. It is a love house. Astrologers like to divide it up. You know, they like to say 5th house is kind of more fun, and 7th is commitment, and 8th is intimacy. But I find that it's often not that strict. But if you are coming into a Jupiter 5th house transit, and your love life has been empty, it's going to perk up, basically. But that for me was a very creative time in 2008, and there was this love life thing going on. So I'm not going to get back involved with the same person, and I'm probably not going to have the same creative projects going on, but I'm expecting, since it is a 5th house transit for me, I'm expecting it's just going to happen. You know, with transits, you don't have to try sometimes. They just do their thing. You know, Jupiter goes into your 4th, you're going to move, or you're going to expand your home. There's going to be renovations, and there's going to be something beneficial to it, unless it's really interacting with something ugly. Again, I'm thinking of when Jupiter was in Sagittarius. Hey, Robin, when Jupiter was in Sagittarius, that and was with Pluto, it could have been dicey for some of us. It was for me, because the last time Jupiter was in my 4th, I moved to a bigger place, but it was a terrible place. It was a terrible, terrible place. So it was very Pluto. It was more Pluto than Jupiter. V. Perez, do you know your rising sign? I'm so glad y'all are here. We got to 23. Yay. You're helping me procrastinate by talking about Jupiter. And we're talking about thinking back to 2008, what was going on in your life. I was saying for me, it's this Jupiter in Capricorn is a 5th house transit. So very typical 5th house things, very typical 5th house things were going on for me back in 2008. And it was a really it was a very creative time. It was a very rich, creative, tumultuous time. You know what? You know what, Hilda? It was for me too. I remember 2008. I was a pet. It's not procrastinating. It's brainstorming. Yes, it is. Extreme Brands. You know what? I'm going to get rid of this barrette because I think that's disturbing my peace. It was hard for me financially then also. 2008, I was pet sitting. I was learning astrology, but not doing it professionally. I was pet sitting. And I remember I had one of my amazing cat clients, and the cat was quite elderly, and the cat passed away. But believe it or not, I used to visit this cat twice a day. And this cat was a significant piece of my income. And all of a sudden, I moved into this apartment, which was too expensive for me. And clients were dying. And yeah, that was really hard. 2008 was really hard financially. Really, that really was. Extreme Brands, yes. 2003, yeah, you know what was going on then, you guys? You know what was happening through some of this is the Uranus-Pluto square. The Uranus-Pluto square went on for many years. Did it start in 2008? I would probably even count it for more, a longer amount of time than some astrologers were. But this Uranus-Pluto square, Pluto in Capricorn squaring Uranus in Aries, that caused a lot of problems. And no doubt for you, it caused problems in those parts of your chart. For sure, for sure. All right, so we're all reminiscing here, and we're thinking back to how horrible. We're all reminiscing. We're all reminiscing, and we're thinking back to how horrible 2008 was. I don't know why this looks strange today. I don't know what's going on here. Jupiter is my favorite planet. Probably mine too. KP65 says, my 2000 I was busy with my dog and ending a wonderful, awful relationship. I know the feeling. Yeah, Uranus-Pluto square. I had those too. When did I have my, I had my Uranus opposition and I had my Pluto square Pluto like before that. I don't know why, but I feel like my face looks very big today. It looks very strange somehow. That's a little better. That's why I keep hiding, because I feel I look kind of bizarre. Extreme Brands. We may be around the same age, maybe, if we were having similar transits. So that was the first thing, okay? That was really point one. Sometimes I show up here without a plan, and I actually have notes today. So that was the first thing I wanted to mention was the memory lane, to think about. God, you know what, Noel, I hope it's the good stuff, just the good stuff, not the crappy stuff. But at least your face looks kind. You know what, Danelle? People keep telling me that I'm kind and warm. I'm hearing that a lot lately. I'm keeping a running list. I've heard that I'm kind. No, I've heard that I'm warm, generous, kind. Someone said I was sexy. Someone said I was vivacious. I'm getting a lot of feedback. These are people who I'm actually seeing in person too. It's always interesting to receive people's vision of you. So that's the first point. I wanted to go down memory lane like a good Cancerian. You look like you, and that is just right. Thank you, KP65. So that was point one, was memory lane, 2008. Okay, Hilda says, slowly rebuilding my marriage and financial life from the recession. Yeah, I was really broke. In 2008, that was hard. And I was living in an apartment that I could not afford in a terrible neighborhood with terrible neighbors. And it was just terrible. I made a really bad decision. When Jupiter was in Sag and it was conjunct Pluto in Sag, I had to move. I was being kicked out of this basement apartment I was living in, which was traumatic. That was terrible. And I had 3 cats at the time. I didn't know where to go or what to do. And I knew someone. I had a friend who was related to someone who owned this small apartment building, but it was a nightmare. It was really bad. It was not so safe. I didn't really have trouble with safety, but there was trouble with noise, and it It wasn't right. It wasn't right in a lot of ways, and I couldn't afford it. So I guess if you can't afford something, that usually makes it not so right. Hey, Kathy, you know what? It's kind of dark in here. I want to turn a light on, another light. Be right back. Let's see if this helps. I turned on a little light. Hey, Kathy. Thank you so much. Thank you, Kathy and Noel, for moderating. Thank you. Thank you. We haven't had any trolls yet, but you know, the day is young. Okay, so for those of you who showed up late, just briefly. Oh, blessings to you, Eliza. I hope your appointments go well. So for those of you who just, I shouldn't say showed up late, you're here on perfect timing. We're reminiscing about 2008. Don't evoke the trolls. I know, right? Thank you, Extreme Brands. I will try not to manifest them. We're going down memory lane about 2008 because that was the last time Jupiter was in Capricorn. Jupiter just entered Capricorn on Monday. So 2020, you guys, 2020 may bring back, yeah, turbulent times. Totally, Lynn. There are going to be some similar themes, but yes, we are older and hopefully wiser. I mean, for Virgo risings who have, oh yeah, you know what, Hilda? She edited my Saturn book. If any of you don't already know, because I do these live streams because they're fun and I love the energy and I love you guys. It's a total labor of love. Although, yeah, it's good for the channel. I'm probably doing live streams the most on this channel these days. But Judica, the woman who wrote this book, you know, the reason I have this here is I was putting the computer on it. Oh, thank you, Barbara. Thank you, Hilda. She edited my book. She famous Judica, occultist, scholar, witch. Thank you, Kathy. She's an amazing person, also a Cancer sun like myself. She's got many books. This is one of her big ones. I mean, literally, it's big. But so I recommend this book. And of course, I recommend my book, which I have over there. So yesterday, okay, before we go into point two, because I have another point. Before we go into point two about what I want to talk about today, actually I have three. I was on this podcast yesterday, so I'll make sure. Hey, Diane, I'll make sure to tell you, give you the link when it comes out. It was really fun. We had a long conversation. So he's going to have a lot to edit, but it was an astrology podcast. And I can't even remember, honestly, I don't even remember everything we talked about, but it was fun. And you know what? The coolest thing was that it was in a real studio. I was actually in a real podcast studio instead of walking, which, it's always good, whether they're calling me, on the phone, we're on Skype or Zoom, or I'm walking down the street doing my own podcast, but it was really cool. It was really cool to actually be in the studio and see the equipment. Yes, V. Perez, we absolutely could do that. Anyway, so that was yesterday. So the book is on my mind, but this woman who wrote this book, Judica Illis, she edited my Saturn book, and she saved it. She saved it. She saved it from whatever direction it was going in. But thank you guys for getting it. You know what? Here, I'll show you. As I keep saying, I'm not necessarily here to plug stuff, but that is the book, the little book of Saturn. And you know what? Either in 2020 or 21, I'm going to be showing you a second book. So that's coming. So okay, let's go to point number 2. So, oh, Barbara, it was so cool. I love seeing the equipment and this place. It was really neat. Oh, Diane, thank you, Diane RM. Okay, so second point that I want to mention. Oh, Hilda, I love it. Thank you. Yeah, I'm excited. That's what I'm delaying today. I have a rough draft of a chapter. It's kind of like a cross between a rough draft and an outline, and I should be working on it now. I have a client later this afternoon. This was the time frame. I was going to be working on it today, but I'm not doing it. I'm talking to y'all instead. I'm trying not to sniffle. So the second thing I wanted to mention, who here has any earth signs in their chart? So that would be, you know what I'm thinking of in particular? I'm thinking of Taurus, and I'm thinking of Virgo. Anyone here have planets in Taurus or Virgo? And I'm thinking Sun, Moon, Mercury. Oh, V Perez is telling me to plug it. Yeah, well, here it is. Here it is. Yeah, sometimes I don't always, the reason I have this sitting on the counter is because I brought it to the podcast studio yesterday. That is why it is like sitting right here. Otherwise it would be on the shelf. But yeah, the little book of Saturn. You know what meant so much to me about this was that I got my favorite tarot expert, tarot author, to put a blurb on it, Rachel Pollack. Oh, Taurus everywhere. So Jupiter's gonna, this is what I believe. Jupiter is gonna bring something beautiful, something positive, something beneficial, something happy, something lucky, something generous. Just something, a beautiful gift. Jupiter does that. Jupiter does that. And the thing is this, you guys, Taurus and Virgo, they are really going to benefit. Now, everyone's going to benefit in some way, but I do think Taurus is going to benefit a little extra. I think Virgo is going to benefit a little extra because these create the trines. These create the trines, which is the flowing, harmonious, good alignment, good conversations. The trine is this lucky aspect in astrology. And Jupiter's in Capricorn, right? So Jupiter is going to come along at some point already or in 2020 and make a beautiful aspect to your Taurus planets, to your Virgo planets. And I think it's going to be really sweet. And even more so, you guys, because as you may know, Saturn and Pluto have been in Capricorn for a while. Pluto even longer than Saturn. And they've been making us work so hard. Saturn and Pluto have been making us work so hard, and it's felt like a desert. We talked about this a little in the podcast yesterday about Jupiter bringing gifts now and creating those trines and lightening things up, because Saturn and Pluto is together is 10 of Wands, and it's a mission, it's a journey, and it's like you can't get off the road. You have to just complete it. Oh, that's great, Kathy. I love that chart, all that earth. Saturn and Pluto together in Capricorn, all this hard work, all this journeying, all this backbreaking effort. And now here comes Jupiter. Jupiter has walked in the door. It's still in the early degrees. It's at 0. It's walked in the door, but it's going to bring light. It's going to bring light, you guys. So don't give up hope. Don't give up hope that whatever's going on in your life or in the Capricorn part of your chart, don't walk around like dead people. You know what I'm saying? This is a point I was making yesterday, because I think a lot of us with Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn, we feel counted out, we feel dead. We feel like sometimes nothing good is going to happen, or that life is just too much work or too painful, too hard. And I tell my clients too, I say effort and patience, wherever Saturn and Pluto are in your chart, it's a total effort and patience. Yeah, I do. I look tired. I'm tired. That's why I'm hiding. Right, Rachna? Right, yeah. So Jupiter is really going to help. Now, again, I know it's not perfect. I know that. I know it's not perfect. I know Jupiter doesn't come and solve every problem in the universe, but it will soften things. You know what? It's not just going to soften it. It's going to make something good. It's going to make something good out of the mess, okay? There's a mess in your Capricorn house. There's a mess there because you've been working so hard. It's like when you get a piece of furniture in the mail and then you put it together and you're discarding the boxes, all the packaging. It doesn't have to be a chair, furniture, anything. It's like you get something in the mail and you're just discarding all the stuff it came in. And that's your Capricorn house now. It's this mess, right? There's like a box. And there's these, you don't even know what they are, styrofoam and pieces. There's just all this junk. And it's not that Jupiter cleans it up, but it's like Jupiter says, I don't care about that stuff. It doesn't matter. I'm going to reward you. I'm going to make something easier. I'm going to clear the way. I'm going to clear the path. I'm going to open the roads. Jupiter is going to help open the roads, you guys. Seriously. And as I often say on Patreon, yeah, staying in the game. And you know, oh, you're so welcome, Sterling. Sometimes we take ourselves out of the game, you know. Sometimes we just Susie just got a delivery. Sometimes we take these long breaks. But I believe it. Now, of course, what's going to add or take away is your specific chart. You know, what's going on in the sky in your specific chart. That's gonna, and I believe the more you have, and this isn't to say that some people are going to be left out. And also mindset, of course, also matters, you know, your perspective, your other transits, your life already, you know, like let's say, for example, let's say you're an addict, okay? A negative example. Let's say you're an addict. Let's say you're married to an addict. Let's say there's a lot of difficult stuff in your life. Jupiter going into Capricorn alone may not help you unless you deal with your addiction and deal with your difficult relationship. But Jupiter in Capricorn may give you a positive push to deal with those things. You know what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily a magic pill or a magic bullet, but things can get better. Okay, Melissa's saying she just got a job offer yesterday. Oh yes, Robin, the like button. Yeah, we've got 32 people in here. Please do hit the like button. As Noel says, it's good for the channel. Life after lockup. You know what, Rachna? I was so addicted to that show, and then I didn't watch it for about a week. I've been off my schedule. Yes, congratulations, Melissa. All right, so we've been talking about 2 points. I'm going to recap. I don't know why my brain is so organized today, and yet it is. We were talking about 2008, what was going on in your life in 2008, because that's the last time Jupiter was in Capricorn. So there may be some repeating themes, not exactly, but if you had a love life then and it's been kind of empty in the intervening years, you will likely have a love life again. Or if you were making a lot of money then, money may come back. Now, I don't believe that losses will repeat. You know, you lost something then. I don't think of it that way. But there may be some echoes from those days. There may be. And then we were talking about earth signs. I think Taurus and Virgo in particular are going to benefit from Jupiter and Capricorn because it fills out the grand trine in earth. Oh, yes, please. Thank you, Robin. Yeah, if you guys can if you're here and you're listening, you're probably not watching because there's not much to see. But if you're here and you're listening, if you want to, or can you, like the stream, it's good for the channel and encourages me to keep going. I know, right, Diane? It's hard. It's hard to, you know why I remember 2008 around then? Because this transit was so intense for me. There was so much going on. There was so much going on for me when Jupiter was in Capricorn before, and I was studying astrology then. I wasn't doing it professionally yet, but I was really intensely studying astrology all the time. And it was a life-changing year. It was really a life-changing year back in 2008. So could be again. We'll see. So the other thing about the earth signs, Taurus and Virgo. But for everyone, Jupiter's traveling through that particular part of your chart that's going to bring a little light, bring a miracle, bring some luck, bring some hope. And again, your mileage may vary because we're all at different places with different stories going on in our lives. So it's not going to be the same. But to bring in a little Capricorn, thought here, if you're doing the work, that will help. Doing the work may not mean that it's perfection time, but it will help. You know what, Hilda? I feel it too. I started, I was watching this transit like a hawk, like countdown to Jupiter and Capricorn. Then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, it's Monday. Oh my God, Jupiter's in Capricorn. But I've been tracking it, and then I'll get distracted by something else, and then I'll start tracking it again. But there we go. I'm hiding today. You know me. My folks who are here fairly often, they know I go into hiding, and sometimes I'm here, and sometimes I'm over there or over there. See, it's enough. It's enough. We need to, here's my hand and the menorah and the books. Okay, so I have a third point. Oh, yes, I have a third point and then a fourth one, and then I should probably get going soon. Yeah, Barbara knows. I always feel like I need to announce it, though. I always feel like I need to announce it because I'm not dealing with tarot cards, and most people just, are always on camera. Hey, Year of Priestess. Hello, hello, hello. Yeah, it is like being on the threshold. And you know what? I'm ready for the threshold. I'm so glad Jupiter is out of Sag, because for me it was a move. In my fourth house, it was a move, and that's so. Did anyone move here when Jupiter was in Sag? Thank you, Danelle. I'm glad you're here. Or did anyone move or have a big transition? I mean, see, that's the thing. Jupiter brings good things, but it doesn't keep us from life. Like, it won't stop a transition from happening. So a transition could be a move. It could be a death. It could be a divorce. It could be a baby. It could be an illness. A transition, it can be a good thing. It can be a difficult thing, a neutral thing, and I do believe Jupiter softens the edges, and I do believe Jupiter can be, Jupiter does rule blessing, so it can be a blessing, an angel, a miracle. And you know what, you guys, I don't say that about any other planet. You won't see me sitting here and talk to you about the blessings of Saturn. I'll talk about lessons. If I'm talking about Pluto, I'll be talking about death and transformation. If I'm talking about Neptune, I may be talking about spiritual love or divine love, but I'm not going to be talking about blessings. You will never hear me say, except ironically or sarcastically, like the blessing of Saturn. Saturn's hard. Jupiter to me is not hard. It's like, things are good. How do I deal with it? Oh, thank you, Michael. You rock as well. Hit the like button, right? Where's Noelle? Did Noelle take a break? She's my smash the like button person. What was I saying? Yeah, you're never gonna hear me say yay Saturn, yay Pluto, yay Neptune, yay Chiron, but you are going to hear me say yay Jupiter. And I know it is a little bit fashionable these days. It is a little bit fashionable to kind of look down on Jupiter. And I do say this, Jupiter can promise and not deliver, but there's still something really good. Hey, Rubber Duck. Wow, I just heard some really weird noise. I don't know what it was. Oh, Noelle will be back. Yeah, we were talking, was it my phone that made that noise? Okay. I get the Citizen app. Do you guys know about the Citizen app? Seems like there was a person robbed. The Citizen app is a little bit addictive, and it tells me about crime that's nearby. That must have been the noise I just heard. I heard some weird, notification. I didn't realize I was getting notifications for the Citizen app. You know what? I just realized something. I don't know why I didn't realize this before. We can do full moon and new moon live streams. Holy crap. Holy crap. We can do, when the full moon comes around, we can do a full moon in Gemini live stream when the time comes. Okay, so the third point, and I've got 4. We've already made point number 1, point number 2. But the third point I want to make is for Cancers. Cancers. Because I want to talk about Cancers because Capricorn, hello, Rubber Duck 23. I want to talk about Cancers for a moment. And I'm really thinking about Cancer Sun and Cancer Moon in particular. I'm thinking about Cancer Sun and Cancer Moon. Because, yeah, and I mean, it could be Venus too. But I'm thinking about people with a Cancer stellium or a Cancer sun, like a lot of Cancerian energy, because as you know, yes, Year of Priestess, that is true, all over the place. Capricorn opposes Cancer. They are complementary. They oppose each other on the zodiac, on the wheel. You know, it's like this. It's a circle. So if you have Capricorn, there's going to be a sign opposing it. And it's Cancer. 12 signs. Capricorn opposes Cancer. So we can't forget them, because here I am talking about Jupiter and Capricorn is going to bring a special blessing for the Taurus and for the Virgo, for sure, because it's going to trine. It's going to give this very flowing, lucky energy. But Cancers is going to, it's something, I don't know if I have the words yet for it, but folks who have a stellium in Cancer or sun in Cancer, or you just, maybe those planets mean a lot to you, or they're very prominent in your life. It's hard to kind of parse where the dividing line is. But it's going to be very interesting. I think it is going to be life-changing, and there's going to be people coming in to help you, Cancers. There's going to be a lot of energy. It's not just that your life is going to be in sync and flowing and gifty, but there's going to be people from the outside, whoever they are. I mean, this could be romantic situations. It could be friendships. It could be colleagues. It could be a boss. Like, oh, hard decade. I hear you, Barbara. But there's something that's going to be unique, very, very special, very, very special. Gosh, my phone keeps dinging. Okay, so someone got robbed near me, but the suspect has been detained. Okay, what was I saying before the Citizen app interrupted me? There's something very special for Cancers in 2020. And I'm not exactly sure what it is yet, how it's going to play out. But I know it's going to be about other people coming into your life. You're going to be interacting with a lot of people. And it's not going to be, listen to this, okay? It's not going to be just the Saturn people. It's not going to be just the Pluto people, like giving you authority, you know, lording things over you, giving you a hard time. Cancers have been having a hard time because we've had Pluto and Saturn opposing us. These difficult planets, like all these crises of faith, crises of body, crises of health. It's been a lot. It's been a lot for Cancers. But now, with the theme of this live stream, here comes Jupiter. Here comes Jupiter. And Jupiter's not only going to lighten things up, but it's going to bring good people in. There's going to be people who want to help you. And again, it could be romantic. It could be friendship. It could be work connections. It could be total strangers, relatives. It could be anyone. But there's people that are going to come in and they're going to lift you up and they're going to help you. And I feel like the sky's the limit. They're going to help you financially. They're going to help you creatively. They're going to help ground you. They're going to help you stand on your feet. They're going to support you. Because Saturn and Pluto and Capricorn made Cancers feel like they had no support. It made them feel weaker. It made them feel smaller. It made them feel like they had nobody in the world. With Saturn and Pluto, and they're still there in Capricorn opposing Cancer, Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, other planets in Cancer. But now, bye Extreme Brands. Thank you for visiting. Enjoy your meeting. Ta-ta. Ta-ta for now. But now with Jupiter and Capricorn, yeah, Cancers, we always need the help. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, we need the help. Cancers need the help. So this Jupiter is that help. It's going to be the help. It's going to be really sweet. And I think a lot of the time it's going to take them by surprise. And they're going to start to believe in miracles. Maybe for the first time. And again, as I keep saying, your mileage is absolutely going to vary because there's other factors in your own chart, in your own life, in the sky. You know, there's always a lot going on. Oh, people are leaving. We're at 22. 22 is still good, though. All right, so I had a fourth point. So I went through my three points plus rambles and chit-chats. Oh, commercial for anyone who didn't already know. So Little Book of Saturn is my book. And if you want to book a reading with me, my schedule is really tight right now until the new draft of the manuscript is done. So things are, I don't know if I have any room in December. It's real tight, but you can always email me at moonpluto@gmail and just see. It's totally fine to check in and say, hey, I mean, there's no immediate availability. Like if you said to me, you know, this weekend, it's not like that. But I can always look in my book and see if there's a space. Okay, so the fourth point, and I may be jumping the gun here a little, okay? I may totally be jumping the gun, but I do have a fourth point, okay, you guys? I have a fourth point. I'm not going to go through all three of them again. You probably remember them because I've summarized a few times. All right, so comments are over there. Yes, my glasses are letting me see, sort of. Awesome book. Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Sterling. All right, the fourth point, New Year's resolutions. Do you make New Year's resolutions? Why or why not? This is a question. This is a question, obviously. Do you make New Year's resolutions? Tell me. Tell me why. Tell me why not. I mean, this is also similar to do you set new moon intentions, but not everyone does that. A lot of people, you know, we talk about New Year's resolutions all the time. Do you set New Year's resolutions? Why or why not? I'm watching the comments. I'm like, my eyes are staring right there. I want to know. Okay, Hilda says, let me see. Hilda says, yes, but never keep them. Rachna says, resolutions are intentions for me. Barbara says, I make resolutions on my birthday. Oh, smart. Okay, Robin says, sometimes Danelle does not. No, never been able to keep them. Sterling does a vision board. Okay, I'm reading all of these. You know what I want to do? I wasn't planning on doing any tarot today. But let's I want to pull out, I'm reading everyone's responses about the New Year's resolutions. I'm going to pull a couple cards on this topic for us. Danelle says, I feel like I am bossy with myself enough without them. I'm going to see what the cards say if we should. Melissa says no, she doesn't. I'm going to see what the cards say because I do believe in these groups. You know, when I do a video for patrons, I believe that the message is for that group. So anything we get now, this is a small group, even if new people show up or new people jump ship. I want to see if there's any, here they are with the Rider deck. I want to see if there's any guidance here. Okay, so they're telling us, wow, this is really interesting. Rachna says her birth chart holds her accountable. Indeed. All right, these cards are kind of weird, but the first thing I want to tell you is that if you decide, remember, this is a Jupiter and Capricorn year, as if you don't already know. This is a Jupiter and Capricorn year. So if you are going to set new moon intentions, you want to do it this way, the way of the Hierophant, okay? The way of the Hierophant has to do with what? You guys know it's traditional, it's conservative, don't bite off more than you can chew. It's traditional, it's conservative, it's rulesy, it's about laws. I'm tuning into like 10 different things with this, so I'm trying to make my mind go not all over the place. If you're going to set new moon intentions for 2020, make them structured, make a list. Don't have it be like, if you're going to set New Year's resolutions for 2020, do it in a strict way, do it in an organized way. Don't do it like all over the place, you know, loosey-goosey or just kind of wild, but do it like this, do it like the Hierophant would. And the Hierophant is structured and strict. Yeah, this is general, Kate. I'm pulling some cards for New Year's resolutions because I was asking, and I have fuzz here. I was asking if people set New Year's resolutions and why or why not. I was very curious to hear what people would say. And then I decided to pull just a few cards that if you do set New Year's resolutions, like kind of how you should do it, and this is the general card. Remember, we've got a lot of planets in Capricorn in 2020. So we want it to be structured. We want it to be clear. We want it to be organized. You don't want to set a Neptunian type resolution. You want it to be Hierophanty, which is not Neptunian. It's very clear. It's very organized. It's a plan, okay? Don't just set a resolution, make a plan. There's a difference, right? Make a plan. Let's see. SMART goals are a good structure to meet goals. Yes, okay. And then I did a couple more cards. Now there's a subtle point here, and this is actually the last point, and then I probably must go. Yes, very structured and disciplined. The resolutions to make, okay, the resolutions to make for 2020 are about, they're not about Capricorn at all. You want to set them in a Capricorn kind of way. You want to set them in a Capricorn kind of way, but you want them to be about what will make me happier, what gives me pleasure, what makes me happy, what feels good. Because look, this is the advice, is the sun. Look at that. These are the resolutions. Resolution guidance. What makes you feel this? And you know, I always quote this, and I always quote this, how Crowley calls the sun power without dominance. So this isn't about, you know what, this isn't about, this card is not about, I want to say it's not about worldly success. It's, because look, this is the do, is the sun, and the don't is the Six of Wands. Now this is a good card. This is a happy card. This is success and victory. But think about how counterintuitive this is. These are New Year's resolution cards. We're in a very Capricorn year. Jupiter is joining Saturn and Pluto. Capricorn is about work and purpose and success and recognition and reputation and achievement. But our resolutions, you know what? We're going to get all that without even trying. We don't need to put resolutions on, oh, I want to be successful. I want to be victorious. No, no, no. That it's not necessary. It's not required. If it's meant to be yours, it's going to happen. The resolutions are about the sun. Good times, pleasure and fun and joy and happiness. There can be power in this, but it's not about lording it over anyone. Yes, Hilda, I agree with that. Hilda says it seems we need to look within to what really makes us happy. Yeah, it's very personal. It's about really not caring what other people think or worrying, am I being successful? Are people noticing me? It's funny too when you draw a do and a don't and you get two good cards, because in every universe, this is a good card. We like this. We like the Six of Wands. Victory. It's a victory parade. I mean, this also could be seen as egotistical. You know, like everyone's following you in a parade, but this kid doesn't care about that. This is just pure joy, pure joy. What will give you joy in your life? And of course, we need money to live, right? We need shelter and heat and clothing and food, and we need loved ones. We need all kinds of things and people. But I think this is a beautiful message. It's beautiful because it is counterintuitive. Because the message is not about making resolutions that have to do with our material well-being, but about our souls. This is a soul resolution, you guys, a soul resolution. Pure joy, inner child, simple joy, says Hilda. Yeah, exactly. So if you're going to set New Year resolutions, make them soul resolutions. Yes, exactly, Danelle. Both on horses. One is people watching, the other flowers. Yes. And this one, yeah, this one is facing us, open. Openness, joy and happiness, feed the inner child, yes. Soul resolutions, yeah. So you know what, this is like impossible to say. It's easier said than done. But I want to tell you to shift your focus a little. But again, I know we all need money. We all need to live. We all need what money can buy. But if you can shift your focus to this, just a little more of what's going to bring you that earthy pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Does this make sense? I think it does, but I always like to ask anyway. Does it make sense, you guys? Oh, good. I'm glad to know. I'm glad it's making you smile. Let's do one more card, see if there's another, any additional message, anything that's been left out. Oh, good. I'm so glad it makes sense. Because, you know, sometimes things make sense to me. You know me. If you've had a reading with me, you know I'll ask, does this make sense? Because I'll go off channeling into some other land. I'll just go off and don't always know if it makes sense. I always ask. Okay, before I do the last card commercial, if you want to book a reading, email me, moonpluto@gmail.com. I'll put the information in the description box. Patreon is a great way to support my work. I will put that in the description box. And yes, I have the book right here, The Little Book of Saturn, which you can get anywhere, including Amazon. All right, that was the commercial. Hilda, I don't do that. Yeah, rectification. I don't do rectification, but I do readings without birth time. I mean, it's nice to have a birth time. Everyone prefers it. But I believe, Hilda, I believe you can give someone a perfectly good reading without birth time. And I also, I started saying this, I think, about a year ago. All my readings are psychic readings. Astrology is a tool I use. The cards is another tool. I don't need the birth time to do a good reading for someone. That said, I do not do rectifications. Yeah, I don't do them. There are people who do. I can't think offhand who does, but it happens. I do readings for people, and there's no birth time, but the chart is not my only tool to answer questions or to look for information. And it wasn't always that way. I was saying this in the podcast yesterday. I started as, just an astrologer. That's not how I think of myself now. I've been doing this for it's been about a decade. But I do consider them psychic readings. I do consider them channeled readings, but I use this stuff. Sometimes if you're doing a reading for someone, actually, the best thing you can do is put down your tools. You'll be looking in the cards, thinking real hard, thinking too much, looking at the chart. The best thing you can do, and I try to talk about this in the new book, is to actually lose focus, and to put the tools down. And you go into, it's like a position of receiving. You become the high priestess, and you can ask a question, but then you receive rather than ask a question and then think. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, surrender to the message. And it can scare people, meaning like it can scare new readers because they're like, why aren't I getting an answer? And that can be they're pushing too hard and they just have to let go. They have to let go of the tools. And then I also, these days, I like to ask direct questions. I like to channel people who are alive. I've been doing more of that lately than mediumship. And I will ask them direct questions. Tell me, whatever the question is. And it works. Okay, so I was going to see if there was one more message that would be interesting to us. And then I got to go. So I have a client soonish. Losing focus is often necessary. Yeah, that's true. That's true, KP5, 65. That's true. Yeah, it's hard for me to put into words exactly. I call it losing focus, but it really is like kind of blurring your mind's eye, blurring the vision in your mind's eye it can be a split second. It can be for 30 seconds. And when I was a new reader, at first I felt it took me a little time, meaning I would feel insecure or get anxious if I didn't know, if I didn't know the answer. And then I had to learn, put a little silence in, And they may not like it, you know. They may not like space. And when I'm talking about space, I'm not talking about 15 minutes. I'm talking about 10 seconds, 20 seconds, maybe a minute. You can also, suddenly this went into tips for readers, but you can also go back to questions. I mean, you can totally hit a wall and then you'll get the answer to that question 15 minutes later while you're looking at something else. Okay. I was looking for another message. If there was anything we needed to know about New Year's resolutions. And we may talk about this more. As the days pass. All right, so I was asking if there was going to be another message, and there absolutely is. This is the message. This is going to be, you know, even though we were talking about 2008 being difficult financially for a lot of us, things have changed now. This is going to be a good financial transit. Obviously not for everyone, but I would say majority, things are going to improve. Things are going to improve. New jobs, new income streams, better health also. And you may have more offers than you know what to deal with. Thinking you may have been job hunting, and can't find anything. And then all of a sudden you've got 4 job interviews. Yeah, I really like this transit, you guys. I really like it. I really like it. Okay, so I'm going to go. It's about 2:30. Just about. Yeah, they are great cards, right, Hilda? We got Ace of Pentacles. And again, I know people, some people will watch. You know, I think this might have been the best live stream yet. I mean, it wasn't the most people or all our people, but in terms of it being the most organized, because I actually had topics, more than one topic in order. And my head felt organized more than usual. So I think it was a good one. Let's see. Can I see these comments? Someone new just showed up. I can't tell what their name says. This is Samantha. Oh, hi, Rosemary. Hey, Samantha. Yeah, we're ending. I gotta go. I've got a client. Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you. Thank you, Sterling. Thank you, Hilda. I'm so glad you guys were here. You know, I wanted to come here. Thank you, Rachna. I wanted to be here yesterday. Thank you, Melissa. I wanted to be here yesterday, and I just had no time. I think that's why I had to show up today, because I'm feeling kind of burnt out, and I just wanted to be with your love. Remember, those of you who were here last time, you know, it wasn't a live stream anymore. It was a love stream. And this was really a love stream today. Thank you, Kathy. You know, no matter what anyone says about YouTube, it has its good side and it has its bad side. This whole live stream thing is pretty cool. It's a great way to connect to all of you. It makes me happy. I'm so congested right now. All right. I'm going to blow my nose. And I'm going to see you guys later. Love you. See you next time.